What's up, guys? My name is Distrust. What I wanted to talk to you guys about today is actually something that a lot of people have been commenting on my videos and stuff like that, and that's knowing when to kind of get a feel not to trust your teammates, and like things that follow along with that. Because certain teammates may decide that they think they can take on the whole enemy team and stuff like that, and that might be the person who's like, say, the tank or something like that, or the initiator. And if you get bad initiations and you're expected to follow in that person who doesn't understand, for example, like when's a good time to initiate and say jump on an enemy team, or when's a good time to back off, they can lose you fights and lose you potentially the game. Now, a great example of this is the Shaco this game. In Champion Select, there was a lot of miscommunication and stuff like that, and the Kazakhs wanted to go mid, but then Kasten was picked, so I picked Zed to take the mid because he couldn't do it, and at that point he decided to pick Kazakh, which was a poor decision because I was hoping he'd go someone tanky, and then it came to the jungler, and he decided to pick Shaco, which generally I try to like either have two off tanks for a top and a jungler, or a tank jungle and a, say, like a Kazakh top or something like that, like just a balance of the team. But when this happened, I guess nobody was thinking or anything like that, and that's just the way it played out. Now, in this initiation is when I first decided that the Shaco can't really be trusted. Now, a lot of people may say, like, hey, like, why didn't you help out your team and stuff like that? Well, I knew the Jax was fed at this point. Like, he was like, he shut down the top. He went like 5-1 or something like that, something ridiculous. And as fed as I was, I knew I couldn't kill the Jax, and neither could anyone else who was in that fight. So I knew it was time to back off. Now the Kazakh kind of like, I guess he assumed like the Shaco could take everyone, but the Shaco ended up doing absolutely no damage. He tried to fill the role of tank, but he still tried to play the role of assassin. So it didn't work out, and he unfortunately was the person who everyone relied on to initiate, because he did build tanky as all hell. Now, just the way Shaco is set up as a champion, he just should never be built as a tank. Like, he's definitely that like hard assassin type character, and he doesn't really have a place in ranked right now, just because he's dropped off a lot. They've nerfed him to the ground and stuff like that, so he was kind of a weak pick to begin with. So I guess when he picked Shaco, he was gonna try to build tanky. Like, he had a full tank build. The only item that he had that was any like form of damage was his Hydra, and it just didn't do the trick. So we'd find that he'd initiate and start fights, but he'd never follow through with them. He'd go in and he'd make us all go in, like the blind leading the blind. Like your team's expected to follow you when you go in if you're the initiator, but he'd initiate fights, or he'd go in way too early, like when we weren't close, and he'd get brought way down. So we'd follow in after him, like a good team should, to help out your initiator. And at the point he'd leave. Like a great example of this is here. I kind of edited it out a little bit, but he was harassing him a lot, and he was up there like taking a lot of hits for no reason. And then they decided to initiate back, and like, look where he is now. He's off leaving the fight, and it did work out this time, but it didn't work out later on. Like, he ended up causing us to lose, because he'd initiate on fights and go down to half-life and just leave, just run. His kit isn't set up to tank, or like, he doesn't have any form of CC other than his boxes, and that's a weak form of CC. Like, it's like a 0.5 second fear that just doesn't cut it as a tank. So I think the main point of this is to just like show some people. Sometimes in my videos you'll see me backing off, and that's just because, like, the pretext of the game, I know how to, like, I know when not to trust people, and I know like when bad decisions are made. Like, and a great example is right here. He initiates on the fight, like he goes and takes a bunch of damage, it just pieces. Like, you just see him run away. So like we go in behind him, and we have to go all in because we don't have the situation to run. Look where he is now. Like, everyone gets killed except for him because he initiated, decided it was a bad fight, and then left, and that fucked over the entire enemy team, or entire team. and it unfortunately cost us the game. Like, as fed as I was, I can't carry silly fights. Another great example is this one. We were trying to steal Baron, and we were all together, but Shaco was trying to be the assassin tank, and a Tanko can't kill anybody. He did pretty much absolutely nothing, and majority of the time he was off in the jungle, and it was just an unfortunate time. So that's all I have for you guys today. Just try to get a good feel of people before you decide to put your trust in them. So that's it, guys. Make sure to have a good one. Be sure to stay slow.